All right, let's go. Let's go. What time is game 2? What time does game 2 start tomorrow? That's how this works, right? It's a 7-game series. Is that how this works? What do we got? Jameson, Steven, what do we got? Let me blow this up so my eyes can see it. Kevin Lankinen signed a 5-year extension with Vancouver worth $4.5 million a season. Wow. You cheap bastards. Damn, couldn't have given them 6 or 7? Dang, that's pretty nice. Yeah, Steven says, so is Demko set for the dumpster? That's a good deal for Lankinen. That's a lot of term for 4.5. That's not bad. Yeah, we won't be the only ones with a $5 million backup. All right. Ethan, any news on Chicken Chuck? No, we're still working on getting him his mouthpiece and his voice. I got to have that set for tomorrow. So the voice is not coming to me all that easily, and I forgot to glue at the grocery store today, but I got to go to the store tomorrow anyway, so that part's easy. I will enlist Kyle's help tonight. Man, it's a shame. Maybe Kyle could do the Chicken Chuck voice and be Gollum. Yeah, does the chicken puppet have a groin issue too? I don't know, man. He's got this tag attached to his groin. Actually, that's right where the tag goes. It's right in his groin. So it might have been a premonition. So, but no, in terms of any news on Chicken Chuck, I would assume that. And I haven't seen anything, but I mean, and we know he's not going to play tomorrow, right? Steven says, so you Americans lost the game and Chuck is hurt. Don't rip the tag out, Craig. Yeah, don't rip the tag out. No, I won't. I thought Bennington, yeah. Oh, Steven, you bet on it? Damn it. Damn. Kazuma says, did not expect ESPN to talk about hockey for more than 30 minutes today. Hopefully they keep it up. Yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was good for the game, right? It was. Vincent says, what exactly am I calling normal hockey? You mean Sam Miskevich still to play 2 games in a row? If you mean Sam Miskevich still to play 2 games in a row on the complete lines, I get that. Okay. Hey, Ted. Yeah, well, Ted, I'll have to explain the chicken. When I introduce the Chicken Chuck puppet, I will do it with an explanation so people understand how that happened. It was just the slip of the tongue when I was doing the recap. I was going to call him Chucky, and I called him Kachuk at the same time, and it came out Kachuckin. And I was like, Kachuckin, chicken chuck. And that was it. There was no going back once that phrase came out of my mouth. Ted, I mean, whatever brings eyeballs to the screen, right? You had Pat McAfee and people tweeting about hockey last night. It's just a shame we couldn't finish the job off. That's a tough look. It's a tough look for the United States. Everybody trolling. I mean, it's hard when your president trolls the other team and then you lose. That's gonna sting for a minute, right? That's gonna sting for a minute. So, is what it is. Ethan, yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Also, I should make the origin of the Chicken Chuck a YouTube short. Oh my God, it would have been a great idea, but I'd have to go back. I would have to literally go back and watch all of the recaps. Because we've been calling him Chicken Chuck for a couple of months now, at least. I would have to go back and find which one it was. It's a shame, like AI, I can't like use AI to search all the videos for like a specific phrase, but then it would have, it might have shown me the first one. Yeah, that would have been a good idea, but I can imagine me going blind trying to find them all. So, but in terms of Ethan, in terms of I've been saying it. I know people are sick of hearing it. I would throw him on LTIR and go get somebody with his money, and then have Chucky be ready for the game one against in the playoffs, and he'd be pissed because the last game he played was last night. Kazuma says, my dad, for the first time, invested in hockey. Is you convince him to watch the Panthers more. That's cool. Steven says, Benny's shot was good, but I still think Helly has to have that one. That was a Bob goal. It's tough, though. I mean, when you get a guy alone there and they can basically do anything they want, and they're right next to, he was right at the side of the net. United States, other than that one period against, was it Finland or Sweden? Finland, right? I think it was the one period. We didn't score a lot of goals, right? I mean, we got 2 against Canada. I think we only had 2 against Finland before that one period. We got 1 against Sweden, and then 2 last night. The offense was a problem for sure. I got a copyright chicken chuck. iDog says it was like when Cincinnati mayor called Arrowhead Burrowhead, but on an international scale. Yeah, it was. I'm glad I don't do Twitter all that much. You know what I mean? I scrolled a little bit this morning. It wasn't too bad. I tell you one thing that irritates the hell out of me. On Twitter, not that, but it's like you got people that are asking questions. People that are like, hey, I don't watch hockey. Can somebody explain to me what the hell McDavid or what Matthews was doing, leaving McDavid alone like that? And you got some people trying to be nice, and then you got people just being a real jerk to the guy because he doesn't know hockey. And it's just like, hey, dumbass, that's how we're going to create new fans. And what was interesting about the discussion about Matthews leaving McDavid is you've got a thread full of these people that they all say they played hockey or they coached hockey or they've all been in hockey. And they're like split down the middle with whether or not that was McDavid's man or not, or whether that was Matthews' man or not. I mean, Makar's got Marner. Supposedly, some people were saying that the center's job is to double team the guy so the pass can't happen. But that leaves McDavid all alone. It don't make any sense. iDog says, I've never seen a sport with gatekeeping as bad as hockey. Yeah, it was disappointing to see. It's like, somebody asks a question, you want to answer the question so they enjoy the sport. Steven says, Chucky pulled the LeBron, took up a roster spot knowing he couldn't play. Hey, Rosado, I talked about that today in the members podcast. It's actually already out. That's twice now. Now, I'm going to say something here that might ruffle a couple of feathers. I love Chucky, right? Absolutely love the dude. Okay? But that's twice now. That's twice now that he has kind of played far too emotionally, and it led to him being out in the most important times that his team needed him. He didn't have to plaster Eichel all over the ice. He didn't have to do that. I understand you want to play rough and all of that, but Kolazar, did what he did because Chucky did what he did to Eichel. And then this time, I remain convinced. It hasn't been confirmed, but I believe he got hurt during the fight. Because like I said, if you watch the fight and you watch his left leg go out, when I saw it happen, I was like, ow, that hurt me watching it. So I would love to see him be able to wrangle those emotions in just enough so he doesn't do stupid shit that causes him to miss the most important games, because this especially was unavoidable. Ethan says the chicken got heart, he got to get size. Yeah, he's not a big dude. He's not a big dude, and you know, it gets hurt. And so yeah, exactly what Rosado's saying is just chill, man. Just take it out on the puck. You know what I mean? I get that you're excited and you don't want to discourage that in the guy, because that's what helped change the culture of the whole team and everything. But on the other hand, that's twice now that he has been unavailable in his team's biggest moments because he's hurt because of the consequences of his actions playing that ridiculous physical style that I don't think he needs to be that. It's tough, man, because you don't want to tell him to not be physical, right? But there is a line there where you end up hurting yourself. And unfortunately, Ethan says, I think it's just a lesson he's got to learn the hard way. I know how much he wanted to push through and play, but can't. And kind of reminds me of Tua a little bit. I was thinking this yesterday. Kind of reminds me of Tua, except we already know we can win a cup with Kachuk, right? So he's earned that benefit of the doubt. But same thing with Tua. He's getting hurt going head first. It's like, slide, dumbass. Don says, yeah, Chucky needs to take a step back and mature. I'm all for physicality, but not when he needs to stay healthy. Yeah, I mean, I don't want to criticize the guy. I really don't, because I get it, you know. But man, let's just hope that. I wonder how much of a role his father plays in either talking him up or talking him down. Like, I wonder if Keith would be like, hey man, you know, let's just play hockey, you know. iDog says Chucky actually performs during the big games. That's a good point. That's a good point. Frank says, wasn't too invested on the results as much as our players staying healthy, but that was some phenomenal hockey by all four teams. Wasn't it? Wasn't it? It was, well, that's what you get, the best of the best, right? And yeah, exactly. Vincent says that's how it turned out. The first game didn't mean a thing. I know. My dad was confused. My dad, after the game, he's like, so we're tied 1-1. When's the championship game? I'm like, no, Dad, it's over. We lost. He's like, but we're 1-1. I'm like, I know, but it's over. That was the championship game. It didn't compute for him for a couple of seconds. He's like, that's not logical. I know it's not logical, but see, they're skating with the trophy. It's over. Don says he leads by example. That's why he always does this. He doesn't ghost at all and does what it takes to win when matters. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if Connor being in over Kachuk is what makes the difference yesterday. You know, I don't know. You never know, right? You don't know. I mean, we had at least three chances in overtime where we're all like, and then it's like, wait, he made the save. There were only 2 teams in this tournament. Don't be silly. Hey, Finland, or no, it was Sweden. It was Sweden that first game that almost beat Canada. They came back and almost won the regulation. But Canada played way better. Craig says the Sweden loss hurt more than the Canada loss. Otherwise, it's still a tie. Right. Ethan says, one of the things I took away from Four Nations is that Brady Tkachuk is going to be an absolute menace once or if Ottawa gets into the playoffs. Agree with that. Yeah, man, we could use him on the team now. We let Brady, Brady's a bigger guy, right? Donna says, I think Chucky is better than Jack Hughes. Jack was a ghost and doesn't deserve all the glaze that he gets. There were a few guys that didn't seem to be as involved as I would have thought they were. I don't know why they never moved Larkin up permanently, especially with Chucky hurt. Larkin was really playing well. He should have been up top, after Chucky got hurt. iDog says Canada fans need to be nicer to their goalies. Bennington robbed so many chances, right? Yeah, it was. That game was over at least 3 times, and he single-handedly stopped it. Yeah, Kenneth, exactly. USA was 2-2 in the tournament, but there's an asterisk next to Sweden, right? Hey, Pente. Craig says Trocheck. Yeah, I mean, it was invisible. It was invisible. Miller was okay. Miller, I thought, was better than Trocheck. Fox didn't do a whole lot, but neither did McCarr. Donna says Aiden Hill would have costed Canada, guarantee it? Maybe. Bente says U.S. played great. You can be proud. You will get rematch next year. Yeah, Yep, right back at the Olympics. It's going to be a long break next year. iDog says Sam Reinhart hasn't scored in 4 games. What a bum. Slavin was good. Benner was great. Yep. Rosado, I thought Matthews played okay. I thought Matthews played all right. I thought he had some good defensive moments. Not the one at the end of the game, right? But look, there's the difference, Matthews had his opportunities to bury the puck in overtime so that Brady could shut. Yeah, I hope Russia can do it too, right? I mean, it's a new administration, so basically, I mean, you kind of figure it's going to be whatever Trump tells them to do. That's it looks like that's how things are working out, whether you like it or not. I'm not getting political. I'm just saying I think whatever Trump tells them to do in terms of the Olympics, it'll probably go something like that. Yeah, Gensel was really good. Yeah, Gensel was really good. Pente says everyone wants Russia to join. Yeah, I mean, just for the players, man. And plus, I know, Frank, he says Canada doesn't win if Bennett doesn't score that goal. I know. And you need Russia in there because otherwise it's kind of United States versus Canada. You would expect those 2 teams, right? Unless all the European teams get together and create a super team. Imagine a Canada, USA, Russia 3-way brawl. Jeez. Oh, the goalies would be out there too, man. Not Bob, but Igor would. Right? Yeah, exactly, Metal. Can Bennett do that for us? I wonder if Bennett and Reinhart are going to play tomorrow. I mean, they didn't get overly physical, but I just hope that all I want to hear from Bill is Chucky's on LTIR. He's going to be fine and rested, ready for game 1. And we're going to go out and we're going to use his cap space and we're going to go get whoever. Did Kreider, because Kreider might be available. I thought he did all right. But I think Larkin would have been better in that spot. Fizzy says Uyghur didn't play, team wins. No, the role of Mackenzie Uyghur was Austin Matthews. Ethan, you said I hope the Bennett-Kachuk connection isn't damaged after this one. Apparently yesterday somebody in the chat because I asked. It might have been you that answered. I asked what Bennett said about it, and I guess you said what happens on the ice stays on the ice. And I think any of us guys that have played sports before knows how that works. You fight with people that are on your team, and then it's over. You know what I mean? Pente, it's not been what's the word I'm looking for? Confirmed. It's not been confirmed that Chucky hurt himself in the fight, but I believe that's when it was. If you watch the fight at the end, his left leg kind of goes out and in an unnatural too long. It's got to be when he got hurt, is in that fight. When I speak of LTIR, do I hear an ABBA song? No. No. I was never a fan of ABBA. I never understood the hype. Give me the Bee Gees any day. I was never a fan of ABBA. Just, no, can't say. Craig says, Bennett and Marchand basically said the same thing from their incident. It's on ice stuff. Yeah, I mean, look, those guys are out there. They're trying to win. I don't think most of the guys take it personally. Pente says, I think Austin was solid last night. Not perfect, but he was good. Yeah, I honestly had no complaints about how Austin Matthews was playing until the end. And I get that there's a mix-up in coverage, but you've got to know who's on the ice. You have to know who's on the ice. And it's just a shame that it went that way, because if he doesn't take that step, Marner might have to pass the puck to the point, because Fox was on him. Fox was a stride and a half away from forcing Marner to get rid of the puck. And if Matthews just stays where he is, he's right in between Marner and McDavid. And that pass, I don't even think that pass happens. So it's just a split-second decision that he made, and that's it. Game's over. Game's over. Done. Very Mackenzie Weegar-ish. That's a Weegar. There was like two guys behind the net. It was like, Weegar, stay in front of the net. You don't have to go behind the net. There's already two guys there. And it's too late. By the time he realized it was just too late. And I never thought I'd mention Austin Matthews and Mackenzie Weegar in the same sentence, but that's what it reminded me of. But other than that, I thought Matthews was good. He's not Connor McDavid. Let's face it. Like, in terms of like pure offensive talent, McDavid, McKinnon, Crosby, like, in terms of pure offensive talent, Canada should be winning, right? Especially when you got Tkachuk out. I like Jack Eichel, right? But, especially in that second line, you got Nathan McKinnon. You got Nathan McKinnon on the second line. That's hard. That's going to be hard to compete with, Yeah, exactly. Who's on the ice? McDavid's on the ice, right? Ethan says, oh, my God, PTSD. I remember exactly where I was when I saw Weegar. Just stop thinking. Yeah. Damn it. Hey, look, it was a good tournament. It was a lot better. We had, mostly on Twitter now, we had 2,400 people last night in the third period. We kept getting more people. And by the time that we were into the third period and into overtime, between all four platforms, we had 2,400 people, and I still couldn't pull 3 subscribers out of that. Like, I'm begging all night. I got 2,400 people. I'm like, I know you're all on Twitter. Please subscribe. And I didn't, nobody, like, damn it. So it's great. Hey, Andrew. It's great that everybody watches on Twitter. I just wish there was a way that it'd be easier for those people to like subscribe, but they're not watching on YouTube. So they'd have to click off, you know, and hit another couple, you know, they'd have to go to YouTube, then come back. So I get that it's a pain in the ass, but I would have thought we would have gotten to 3 to get back to 8,600. YouTube had a bot purge. So like a lot of people lost like 10, 20, 30 subscribers in the last couple of days because YouTube went through, and occasionally bots will subscribe to people's channels. And like every 3 or 4 months, YouTube will go and eliminate the bots from people's channels. So I went from 2606 to 2592. It's creeping back up now, but it was like gone. Vincent says Uyghur blacked out, woke up in Calgary. It happens. I like it. Yeah, Ted. We stream to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And then there's another site that we stream to called Assist. That's something I'm helping somebody that we're getting that rolling, because it's a site he's trying to get moving where you can actually sync the game clock to the stream. So it's a good idea he's got, but it's work in progress. Ethan says, do I think the league should do this tournament yearly, bi-yearly, or do the all-star games? On one hand, I love the 4 nations and growth for the game. On the other hand, injuries and no rest. So, you just listened to the Daytona story, Rosado? So, Ethan, I talk about that in the podcast a little bit today. One of 2 things. First off, if you're going to do this again, you start the regular season 10 days earlier. That wouldn't kill them. 10 days ain't going to make a big difference. You're going to do that for 2 reasons. Number one, so you don't have to have the front end of the schedule so heavy on some of these teams. And number 2, maybe you just, after the championship game, there's a whole nother week. Now, another way you might be able to do it, but the NHL would never be smart enough to figure out how to do it, is if you wanted to have the ability to flex some games like they do in football. So, as an example, you got 3 Panthers in the championship game, one of which is hurt. So maybe the league would take our Saturday game and flex it to another time in March, since we've got a lot of time in March. There's ways that it could work, but I think the biggest way is start the regular season earlier and then give at least 3 or 5 days off, a little bit more time off. The absurdity that these guys played last night and they're supposed to play tomorrow, that's just not realistic. And the league has to know that. Kenneth says, poor Eisen Knight got his Twitter blog promoting. I know. I heard. That's funny. I feel bad for him. Hopefully it was just a temporary thing. Ted, it's just my personal page, because I go through StreamYard and it's a massive pain in the ass. I don't even know if they allow it anymore to stream to groups and pages from StreamYards. It's like they want you to do it straight from Facebook. Facebook is not very amicable with allowing third-party software to stream to them and everything. So I stopped wasting my time trying to do it, because they change the rules every couple of months. So I just stream to my regular page, my personal page. Yeah, the idea is starting earlier. Vincent says OnlyFans still through a hidden link. Yeah, it's code. It's code. Yeah. Because that's why I have so many links in the description. If you go through and you pick every 3rd letter out of each link, that's the link to the OnlyFans. Yeah. It's just me naked in the sauna. So, that's why how I pay my bills. That's why we're so rich. It's all that naked sauna time OnlyFans money. Yeah. Jiggy says, as a Canadian who was born in the mid-90s, I cannot recall a moment where meaningful international best-on-best hockey had the stage all to itself like this. That's a really good point. Like, because there's normally Olympics and whatnot. Yeah. I mean, it's been good. It's been good. I'm sure we're going to have a lot of new fans, and that's good because with the cap going up, right? League going to need the money. Craig says All-Star should stay All-Star slacky, All-Star hockey. Make it mid-season vacations for the league's elites. Maybe have it every year, the same 3 or 4 locations that cater to vacations. Oh, I see what you're saying. That's an interesting thought. Rosado got banned from the Panthers Discord because you were telling them to subscribe to the channel. The actual team's Discord. Oh my God. I appreciate that. Said, man, tell me you're getting high from hockey. You won't seem to have any subscribers yet, but you're working and enjoying yourself. Yeah, no complaints. No complaints. Except for the fact that it's too cold. It's still 34 degrees outside with like a 25-mile-an-hour wind. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the cold, man. That I can tell you. I agree 100%, Ted. He says, I love Chucky's bravado and energy, but that fight seems anticlimactic. USA really needed Chucky last night. 100% agree. Vincent says, I appreciate that. I can't really read your name because it's not, I'm going to assume that's Russian. I'm not sure. But in English, it looks like Tonopob. In English, it looks like Tonopob. So we'll call you Tono. How's that? I appreciate that. Hey, real deal. I figured you'd be here. Vincent says Bennett and Reinhart play tomorrow. Why? Why can't we give them a night off? Would it kill us to give them a night off? We're playing the Kraken and we play Nashville. Like, we should not have a problem giving these guys a couple of nights off. Vincent says this kind of event should be held around Christmas. No, far from playoffs and teams figured out the roster and players go through a slump. Christmas wouldn't be a bad, but then what are you going to have? 2 breaks? Are you going to give them a second break? It wasn't the official. Okay. Joe, just the fans channel. Okay. I got you. Where can you link the stream? It's just on my personal page. It's just on my personal page, Rosado. We're friends, right? Cade says it was an awesome game last night. Glad my home country won, but massive kudos to Team USA for making it as hard as possible. Yeah, congratulations to you guys. You guys outplayed the United States. To me, you guys really outplayed us. Much more structured, much better decision-making, as you saw in the final goal. Ethan, on the little birds, we got him out. That day, as soon as the stream was over, I went, looked all over the house. He was downstairs in my pack and ship room. Yeah, no, we played Kraken today, and then we play Nashville on Tuesday. Pente, the hope would be just LTIR until the playoffs. That would be the hope. Oh, World Juniors is Christmas. Okay. Hadn't thought of that, Metal. Bob's nickname ought to be the Bobcat. Bob for Bob. I'm surprised nobody's thought about that yet. Huh. Rosado, no, I know. That's what I mean. We play Seattle tomorrow, and then we play Nashville Tuesday. That's what I'm saying, is that we can't win some game. We can't win those games. We can't get 2 points in those 2 games without Kachuk, Bennett, and Reinhardt, we got enough depth to get points against those teams. Let them rest a little bit. Kate says, yeah, 2019 Game 7 Bennington came back last night. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he just – when I saw that last goal, the last save, I think it was Brady Kachuk was on the side of the net, and it's just this gaping, beautiful, open net, and you're just ready to jump and scream. And Bennington's like on his side, and he just like this, and right into his glove. When I saw that, you had to know. You had to know this is not going our way, man. No way he makes that save and then gives up a softie 5 minutes later. And sure enough, play started moving to the other side of the ice a little bit more after he made that save. And it was just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Yeah, Pente says it basically is asking if we put Kachuk on LTIR, what would I do with the 9.5 free space? It's a good question because you don't want to do 2 things, or I guess it's the same thing. You don't want to look at that money and say, "Oh my God, we could go get somebody. We could go ranting it. We could go get anybody we want at that point." But you're going to have to pay. So now you're giving up those assets for that player, but you're not going to be able to re-sign him, right? Unless you know, from what I'm hearing, Bennett and Ekblad, we're going to be keeping them. So, you know, you go get a guy that's going to have a high salary, but then at the same time, how much assets are you giving up? So it's kind of a, you know what's interesting? Now, this is an interesting thought. I just had this. So we'd have 9.5 in space. But maybe there would be a way, if we're not going to fill all of that space, if we're not going to go get a guy that's going to fill all that space because we don't really have the assets to do it. Let's say we're only going to get a guy that's going to fill half that space. We could actually get ourselves some assets if we had that extra space and we weren't going to use it by being the bumper team in a 3-way trade and just taking on some cap. If it was going to be for a Western Conference team. That's what I'm saying. You don't have to use all 9.5, but that's what I'm saying is like if we only used 4 to acquire a player and we got 5.5 sitting there, we could, in theory, present ourselves as the bumper team in a 3-way deal and maybe grab ourselves an extra draft pick or something like that for nothing, because if it's only the 1 year of the cap space, we've got it. It won't matter. Vincent says the fact that Kachuk isn't on IR still tells me everything there needs to know. 2 weeks, maybe. I hope not. I hope not. Is he even back there? When did they fly? Did they fly last night? Like, I would assume the team doctors would want to get him and look at him and see. I don't know about 2 weeks, man. The dude couldn't play in what he considered a Game 7. There's, 6-7 weeks left of the season, right? So, like, if it's going to be 3 to 4 weeks, there's no reason not to just put him on LTIR. Like, nobody would question that at this point. At this point, I want them to do it. Why throw his ass back out there? You know? Why? We already saw this with Bennett a couple of years ago with the recurring groin thing. Just let him heal, let him rest, let him put on a couple of pounds of muscle before the playoffs, get nice and all the bumps and the bruises. You know he wasn't 100% after that knee-on-knee with Cooch. Just let everything settle down. It really, it's an opportunity I hope they take advantage of. There's no reason for him to be out 2 or 3 weeks and then come back if you just put him on LTIR and it's 2 or 3 more weeks extra. I hope they'll be smart about this because we need him rested for the playoffs anyway. Forget about going and getting somebody else to replace him. Forget that part. If we want to win the cup again, man, I'm reading what Kenneth just said. Marie says Chucky's day to day. Come on. So they're going to be dumbasses about this. Don't like. I mean, if the dude was that hurt that he couldn't be on the ice, that he had to quit in both games. You got vlog. The assumption everybody pretty much has made is that it's a groin, and I haven't heard any pushback from that. Pretty sure that he hurt his groin in that fight. Ethan says day to day, translating month to month. Right, just put him on LTIR. This is not difficult. Hey, Puck Rock says New York Rangers fans takeaway confirm what we already knew. Team needs new blood. What's up with Vincent Trocheck? Puck Rock, when we sent him, when we got rid of him, not to you guys, but he was a vivacious, tenacious hockey player. Did he just not show up for the tournament? Or is that how he's been playing? So Colin says Erod's on the second line right now. Yeah, Kate says it should be week to week at least. Chucky couldn't even play for 10 minutes. Why? Well, let's put it this way. I hope I bitch and complain about it and then I look stupid. But I just don't see any benefit at all in having him come back and play before the playoffs if he's anything less than perfectly 100%. Puck Rock says he's been feisty but nowhere to be found. Right. Nirmax says because we only have one extra forward. Yeah, but if we put him on LTIR, you just bring up somebody or you go get somebody. You know, it gives us the cap space to do it. If you put him on LTIR, then you don't have to worry about that. Hell, you like somebody set up above, you could just bring in Sordiff and say, Bendy says, what do I think about Connor sitting out last games? You know, when I first saw the lineup, I thought that they had put Kreider in because they weren't sure Tkachuk was going to be able to play. For whatever reason, they wanted Kreider instead of Connor in that position. So that answer I don't know, but it feels like that's the decision they made. Do we know if that would have made a difference? I don't know. I mean, with the way Binnington played in overtime, you kind of get the feeling, you know. Nirmax says that we can't activate him in the regular season. I know that's my point. That's my point. There's only 25 games left. Let him rest up and heal and be back for game one pissed off because the last hockey he played was last night. We use this cap space to go get a guy. And then when Chucky comes back, we're in that much better shape. Oh, Connor was sick apparently. Okay, Metal, that makes sense. That makes sense. So yeah, no, Miramac, that's what I'm saying. As far as Lil J, as far as Maurice says, he's day to day. Maurice says he's day to day. Yeah, everybody needs somebody, right? So as far as I'm concerned, our club is ready for this cup run. No need to change what works, but then we'll need changes. Well, we need depth. I mean, we need depth simply because we don't have enough bodies. Just think of the depth we could go get if you put Chucky on LTIR. I don't understand. Ugh. The only other thing that could be in play here, the only other thing is that maybe he's not hurt as bad as they made it out to be, but the Panthers were, they were being extra conservative with him. Gazito was the assistant GM. I don't know. Puck Rock says Canada owes Bennington some free Tim Hortons for a while. No doubt on that. Near Mac, we don't have assets. No, that is an issue. Sure. That is an issue. No doubt. But even then, even if you're just using this space to make it easier to go get a defenseman. In fact, Near Mac, even if you just use this space to go get the guys that we were already going to get, it makes it easier on us because we don't have to overpay to get them to eat salary. You can look at it that way. Even if we're not going to replace Chucky and we're just going to roll with the lineup until the playoffs start, having that extra space means we don't have to pay extra for the other teams to retain salary. So it just feels like it would give us so many options. But obviously Kachuk will go out there on one leg and one arm and have his head bashed in and still say he's ready to play. Hey, Jameson. Vincent says, Stellan is my depth. Stellan is our hero. I wish. Absolutely. So we'll see. But that's not an encouraging sign that they're going to do the day-to-day thing. I mean, come on. At this point, I kind of feel like it's purposeful the way the Panthers handle how they're talking about the injuries. Everybody with a brain knows that dude ain't playing for like a week or two. Like, he couldn't be on the ice last night. We're supposed to think he's going to be ready on Tuesday. Everybody knows at the least he's week to week. Why say day to day? I think they do it on purpose. Why, I don't know. Nearmax says Stemmen's not having a good year. Who's he playing with? I mean, what's his line mates? Lil J says it is encouraging. It means that the tournament wasn't shit compared to the playoffs. Right? I mean, we'll see. We'll see. I just know that with groins, and especially the way that guys like Kachuk and Bennett play, if you don't take the time to really get it 100% healed, not I can gut through it, I can work through it, and it doesn't feel so bad. If you don't take the appropriate time to heal a groin, you're going to get that little bit of tightness game 3 of round 1, and it's all over with the shouting because you can't get any rest then. Don't like it, man. I don't like it. And it's not like we have a great history of handling his injuries appropriately. We let him go out there in game 4 with a broken sternum, right? What if somebody would have hit him again? Fab says, what do I think about this trade? Brady Kachuk for Lundell Knight, a 26 and 27 first round pick. Ooh. I don't think Ottawa would do that. I don't think Lundell Knight would be enough for them. That deal I might make, but I need to see more Cooper Black before I completely throw Knight out to the woods. That's a lot of firsts. But I don't think Ottawa would consider Lundell enough. Because they still have Ullmark. It's close, but I don't think that they would take Lundell. I think they would want either Samoskevich or Reinhardt. Not with Knight, but it's close. That would be a bit of a. I don't think Senator fans would be happy with that deal. I like Lundell. He's a good player, but he's not somebody that's going to drive play or anything like that, like Tkachuk. Meadow says he's talking about Stenlin, I guess. He has 7 goals and 6 assists playing with O'Brien and Bukestad. I believe he has more points than he had at this point last year. Oh, for Stenlin. Puck Rock says, what NHL team or teams benefited from the Four Nations, momentum, juice, etc.? Well, I think, you know, it's a good question. Good question. Maybe the Oilers. Connor McDavid winning it with the gold, right? That could be a team that, you know, he's got a little bit of a monkey off his back. He didn't look all that excited about it. He did when he scored the goals, but when he was lifting the cup, I don't think, you know, that was a kind of a forced thing there. You saw some of the guys were kind of like, I'm lifting the cup, but it's not really the cup. I think Edmonton could get a little bit of juice out of that for sure. You know, considering they're in the position the Panthers were in last year, where they're trying to come back after having lost. Rosado still wants Nola Chari. Lil J says, yeah, Tampa, Point, Hagel, Sorelli, Cooper. That's a good one. Yeah, and Gensel. Yeah, Gensel was good. Kenneth says Washington's pretty rested now. Uh-oh. I just closed out my whole browser. Am I still there? Uh-oh. Here I am. Okay. I just closed it out. Vincent says Maurice watches the video where he throws day-to-day and just for extra spice. Yeah. Nirmax says Lundell is our 2C of the future. I mean, at some point, yeah. But if we re-sign Bennett, it's still going to be a little while, right? Yeah, Washington is pretty rested now, Kenneth. That's a good point. Yeah, Edmonton will come back. Rosado says Lundell, Erod, the 27 first, 26 fourth, fifth, 20. That's a lot. That's a lot of picks. They wouldn't do that. No, I don't think we're trading Lundell either. I don't think Lundell would be the piece. Meadow says, yeah, by the way, there were 3 Panthers or former Panthers named Sam on Team Canada, right? Nirmac, are you saying we're not? Because you said, I think you meant to say we're not. So you think we won't re-sign? That would suck if we lose Bennett and keep Ekblad. That would suck. How much do you think he wants? Not right. I mean, it might be the term too. You know, I would give him 6 by 6, and even that's pushing it term wise. You think he wants 8? You know what? I give him, if he wants 8, he gets 4 years. If he wants 8, I give him 4 years. It's a bit of an overpay, but it keeps the core together, and we can afford it. I would give him 4 years at 8. Admittedly, it's an overpay, but we can afford it as the cap is going up. I would do that. I wouldn't give him more than 4 years because his body is going to deteriorate. But to keep the cup window open, I'd overpay him a little bit. Good question. Kenneth says about the Four Nations. What do they think about the refs? Outstanding. And it just goes to prove, I don't know what it proves exactly, Kenneth, but it proves that somehow, some way, somewhere, there's a different conversation going on about how the referees should call the game in the NHL regular season and the playoffs and clearly international play. I mean, they didn't call anything. They didn't call anything. So that tells me that there was a conversation that, hey, let them completely play, which tells me that when they call bullshit in the middle of the regular season, sometimes when we think it's bullshit as fans, we might just be correct. Because that was beautiful. There was the one penalty. And how could you not call it? Trocheck lays down and he just sticks his stick out, and he didn't even need to do that. And I know Canada kind of got away with it, too many men on the ice, but whatever. Whatever. I'm glad that they didn't call anything, really. Bill says, ask ourselves this: is Ekblad better than Mikkola? No, definitely not. Wait, Rosado, you think Ekblad's better than Mikkola? I gotta disagree with you. I think if Ekblad didn't have where he was drafted and wasn't named Ekblad, and his name was Kindle, you would say no way. Plus he's got me blocked on Twitter, so it is what it is. No, Mikkola is far too steady. Mikkola is far more consistent. Ekblad has done well considering his injuries and all of that. But if it's a 2-on-1 and there's one guy that's going to be back, I'd rather it be Mikkola. He can move better. Actually says Ekblad is way more inconsistent, but Ekblad is at his best is better. Yeah, I'll give you the high end. I'll give you the high end there, sure. But Mikkola is super consistent. I just think if Forsling was paired with Mikkola, Forsling wouldn't get so exhausted having to do all the skating. So maybe that's what I mean when I say he's better. Like, they're different defensemen, and they're different. And when Mikkola has really learned how to use his size and strength to shield the puck. Where with Ekblad, if he has the puck behind our net, he's going to lose it. Yeah, and Mikkola is a unit, no doubt. Nirmax says Ekblad's coming back to market for defensemen is nothing. Probably. Shavashi says just put Ekblad with Kulikov. My only if they're going to be on the bottom pair, because it works now with Ekblad and Forsling because Forsling makes up for Ekblad's lack of speed. Lil J says Ekblad is fine besides when he has the puck. All right, that's agreeable. It is an adventure when he has the puck. It really is. So I'm going to do another Confessions of a Man. Yeah, I'm going to be bringing that back, Rosado. I'm finding a way. I'm weaving a way to make it a little bit more general. In other words, I will have to present the stories as these are just stories. I'm not saying this happened. Yeah, no, I know. We need one. We need another right-handed defenseman. Yeah. Did I not tell the French? I didn't do the French one yet, did I? I'll have to check with Donna. The Finns, like Czech Republic, play boring hockey, which probably Czech wasn't invited, but the Finns somehow got right. Yes, Slavin would be nice with Forsling. Sure. I did, Rosado. Did I tell I got to go back and rewatch and see which ones I've told. I've got to go back and rewatch and see which ones I've told so I know where to pick it back up. No. Yeah, Ekblad and Mikula won't work. I want to put Forsling with Mikula. Yeah, Ekblad Mikula, I don't think that'll work. All right, everybody, I got to roll. Yeah, because they don't have enough active players. That's another good reason. All right, everybody. Thank you all for coming out. Appreciate y'all. The members podcast is already up. Kyle and I will be back tomorrow. I think the game is at 6. I believe it's at 6, so we'll be ready to go at 6. And then I don't know if it's going to be Sunday or not. It depends on the games and the times. But we are going to start streaming games other than the Panther games. So I'm just trying to do everything I can to keep this channel going. And rather than waiting for the playoffs to stream the other games, we're just going to start doing it now so that we're just in a groove. So I don't know if it's going to – I mean, we will take a night off here or there. But certainly, like maybe Sunday night, if there's a good game on, especially Eastern Conference, we'll start streaming some of those games. So, all right. Appreciate all the support. Thank you for all the new members, everybody. That was fantastic last night. And I will see you mañana.